Shri Tripura Rahasyam MahatmyaKhandam, Chapter 77. Then, then encountering Sampatkari, Ashwaruda, Dandini, and Mantrini, and displaying his excellent war skills and pleasing them one by one, Bhandasura said thus, O goddesses, I am satisfied by your skills and prowess in war. I am eager to fight with your empress immediately. You can be watching my war with her. My shoulders feel embarrassed to fight with her juniors. After conquering her, I will battle with you. Hearing his request, the goddesses consented, thinking that he was invincible by them and that it would be appropriate for him to be defeated by Devi Lalita, and allowed him to fight with her. Then, reaching the Sri Chakra Raja chariot, Bhandasura started his extremely wonderful war. The Shaktis were just watching the war. Similarly, the entire sky was filled by gods, siddhas, and rishis who had arrived in the aerial cars to witness the war. Bhandasura, getting face to face with Devi Lalita, was very happy and mentally bowed with devotion to her and soon discharged 5 arrows which created wonders. The first 2 arrows fell as bunch of flowers at her feet. The third arrow became a garland of blossomed lotuses around her neck. The fourth one showered flowers on her head. The last one settled on her crown as a diamond. Seeing such a worship, Devi Lalita was very much pleased. All the gods started doubting about it. Hearing from Narada about the supreme devotion of Bhandasura towards Devi Lalita, Indra was extremely surprised. Then began a great war between Devi Lalita and Bhandasura, and the entire sky was covered with wonderful weapons and missiles. Bhandasura, an adept in the usage of missiles, fought with valor to please the great Devi. Bowing mentally to the Devi who was before him, Bhandasura started insulting her with words secretly filled with praise. O Devi Lalita, listen. You appeared to me like an actress engaged in deceit, like a man putting on a female dress, but devoid of female characteristics. I consider you as neither female nor male. With despicable conduct, you have neither shame nor fear. You are not born in a respectable clan because you appear contrary. I think only indiscriminate persons engaged in devious ways will contact you. I consider it as the result of my past actions that you, with such an abominable nature, are seen in front of me. Listen, I will utter the truth. Let matters remain as they are. Somehow you are in my presence. Hence, discarding deceit and magic, stay firmly in front of me. Do not run away. You cannot cheat me and disappear. Hence, taking into consideration my secretly determined desire and seeing my prowess, accomplish your vow. Hearing his words with concealed meanings, Devi Lalita was happy and said thus, O Lord of the demons, listen, what you spoke is quite in order. I will fulfill your wants and drive away your arrogance. The person who has come under my vision will not be born again. If you have any interest in fighting, then be firm totally. Saying thus, she showered arrows on Bhandasura. Bhandasura also quickly showered counter arrows. Appreciating each other their scientific skill in handling the weapons, they fought a tumultuous, horripilating great war. Fighting thus for a long period, the demon created missiles of fire, water, moon, Kubera, mountain, rain, Indra, wind, Brahma, and Kumara. Devi Lalita Parameshwari destroyed all such missiles by counter missiles, just like the sun destroys mist. Similarly, Devi Lalita instantly destroyed all the new missiles created by him. Then Bhandasura created Madhu, Kaitava, Somaka, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Bali, Bali, Kartavirya Arjuna, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Mura, Graha, Kamsa, and Dvivida, Kamsa and Dvivida, and so on. The demons who are the enemies of Vishnu and engaged in the destruction of the world. These demons possessed the same characteristics and valor as Bhandasura and were keen on troubling the creation by their ignorance. Then Devi Lalita created from each of her hand nails the 10 incarnations of Narayana, who very quickly destroyed the demons. Then again Bhandasura created Andhakasura, Mrityu, Kama, and Tripurasura, who are the enemies of Mahadeva. Seeing them, Devi Lalita, from her third eye, created the god of gods, Mahadeva, by whom these demons were destroyed. Then Bhandasura created a frightening huge army that was earlier killed by the Shaktis. He created Vishanga, Vishukra, Chaturbahu, Karanka, Kutilaksha, and so on, just like Brahma creates after deluge. Then these enraged demons fought with the Shaktis. Everyone was surprised by the ability of Bhandasura. The gods and the Shaktis were afraid of the consequences. A great war emerged, and as the demons were getting destroyed, Bhandasura again and again created them. Witnessing this, the gods and the Shaktis were very much frightened. Then Brahma and others prayed to Devi Lalita for protection. Mantrini approached Devi Lalita and bowed to her, and with folded hands requested her in a sweet voice thus, O Devi, the prowess of Bhandasura is dreadful. See the exhausted faces of the Shaktis who have been fighting without rest for the past 6 hours. The demons killed by the Shaktis are being instantly created again. Chaturbahu and other sons of Bhandasura, who were killed 7 times by Vala, are fighting again. Vishanga, who was killed 10 times, and Vishukra 9 times, are fighting again, resuscitated by Bhandasura. Karanka, Kutilaksha, and others who were destroyed many times are again encountering us. We cannot battle anymore. Please see the Shaktis who are afraid, tired, and dull. Hence, I request you to protect the world with due concern. Thus implored by Mantrini, Devi Lalita with a smile said thus, O Mantrini, do not be afraid. Watch while I destroy the lord of the demons within seconds. Saying thus, she loaded her bow with an arrow and invoked the universally dreaded Pashupata, the universally dreaded Pashupata missile in it, and discharged it on the army of the demons. That missile soon reduced to ashes the ocean-like army of the demons. Again, Devi Lalita placed another effulgent arrow in her bow, by which all the directions were filled with flames. The earth trembled, the ocean agitated, the entire creation was frightened. there was a shower of thousands of meteors. Many tigers and so on went round Bhandasura in an anti-clockwise direction. Seeing the loss of his ocean-like army, Bhandasura meditated firmly on the lotus feet of Devi Lalita, and as he was getting absorbed into the meditated, the Devi released the arrow invoked with Kamesvara missile, which was very dreadful. It was emitting flames that brightened the universe and looked like the consuming fire which would burn the entire creation. Blinding the eyes of one and all, it astonishingly reduced to ashes Bhandasura along with his chariot, his Shunyaka city, all the women, old persons, children, beautiful buildings, animals, and so on, just like a straw by conflagration. Brahma, Vishnu, and other gods who could not see the trace of Bhandasura on either Bhandasura or his army or his destroyed city or his children were astounded and shouted slogans of triumph. The Shaktis banged the drums in thousands. The gods played on musical instruments. The Gandharva leaders sang. Urvashi and other celestial damsels danced happily. The sages recited hymns. The Siddhas repeated the names of the transcendental Devi. The sages meditated on her form, and others prostrated before her. The gods showered blossomed, fragrant flowers. The clouds looked peaceful and thundered in a low tone. The wind carried fragrant droplets mixed with the aroma of sandal and saffron, giving a pleasing experience. The sun shone bright. The oceans were placid. The rivers and ponds were limpid like pure mines. With the destruction of Bhandasura, the universe glowed as if resuscitated after a deluge and was free from anxiety and animosity. When Bhandasura, who was tormenting the world, was thus killed, the gods, sages, siddhas, and all approached Devi Lalita. End of the 77th chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. Chapter 78. Going near the transcendental Devi Lalita, the ecstatic gods praised her with many hymns. O Mother Lalita, victory to you. What wants will not be obtained by those devoted to you as a result of serving your lotus feet? You will grant the wants more quickly than the divine trees which are having qualities similar to you. Like birds with the wings burned by the dense, dreadful flame of the prowess of Bhandasura, we who had drowned in the vast ocean of fear have been quickly lifted up into the sky by you. Your lotus feet, which dispels the inner misery of the supplicants, which controls the dense, delusive array of sins of the surrendered, which is the life nerve of the entire moving and non-moving creation, which controls the universe, is ever prosperous. O Mother, your sport illumines the universe. Whence will you feel tired fighting the demons? May you always dwell in our mind, which is purified by pure actions. Your swan-like feet, which cause wisdom among age-old ignoramuses, drives Brahma as well. After praising thus, Brahma and others prostrated before her and praised her again and again by many hymns. O Agastya, meanwhile, myriads of Brahmas responsible for creation arrived there, along with Bharati and other Shaktis. With folded palms on their heads, they bowed and praised Devi Lalita, worthy of praise and said with folded hands thus, O Devi, by the destruction of Bhandasura, today 105 universes which were ruled by him have been protected. In these universes, Indra and other gods were imprisoned, and some gods had run away. Everywhere only demons ruled. Only Vedas and sacrifices propounded by the demons were practiced. O Shankari, worship to gods and sacrifices were not seen anywhere under his administration, and Brahmins had to propitiate the demons. Now, as you have killed the demon in war, other demons have run away, and the lords of directions, Indra and others, are established in their portfolios, and everything is peaceful. As the gods were saying thus, Vishwakarma arrived there, and after bowing to the Devi, Brahma and others said with folded palms thus, O Creator, as ordered by you, I have constructed on the peak of Meru the Sripura for the Devi. You may please see that along with the Devi and gods. Thus requested by Vishwakarma, Brahma reported the matter to Devi Lalita, who, requested by all the gods, reached there along with the Shaktis and the gods. Seeing the city constructed by Vishwakarma, which was like a reflection of the great Sripura, all the gods and the Shaktis were wonderstruck. The gods bowed to Devi Lalita and requested her to dwell in the Sripura. After taking her consent, Brihaspati and others arranged auspicious items required for the coronation. After the arrangements, Brahma at the auspicious zodiacal time, assisted by sages, performed the sacred sprinkling on the Devi according to the best Vedic procedures. The group of gods, Maruts, Vasus, fires, Gandharvas, divine messengers, lords of the directions, Yakshas, Guhyakas, demons, Siddhas, saints, rishis, men, Rakshasas, and Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishana, and Sadashiva from the myriads of universes, and Srikantha and Adishesha were all present at the coronation and served Devi Lalita in several ways. Myriads of Brahmanis, Lakshmis, myriads of Brahmanis, Lakshmis, and Gauris with devotion worship Devi Lalita by individual services. After the auspicious sprinkling and chanting, as the musical instruments produced enthralling music, as the Gandharvas sang tunes with pleasing modulations, as the celestial courtesans danced, as the saints uttered the sacred names, as the rishis chanted hymns loudly, and as many viewers arrived with effort, Brahma helped Devi Lalita to the sacred great throne. Then Brahma, assisted by Vasistha and others, sprinkled her with consecrated waters from various rivers and seas, contained in pots having nine types of gems. After the coronation, the gods worshipped with worthy materials the Devi, effulgent with many jewels and special garment, shining on the Sri Chakra throne, supported by the 5 causal deities. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, and others individually prayed to her by rare hymns and prostrated before her. After getting coronated on the throne in the Sripura at the peak of Meru, Devi Lalita, just as in the great Tripura, allocated suitable places to Mantrini and others. O Agastya, thus the Devi is dwelling on the high peak in Sripura, giving instructions to Brahma and others. The Sripura, constructed by the skill of Vishwakarma using precious material is marvelous. Requested by Brahma and others, Devi Lalita, out of compassion, accepted the umbrella and sandals offered by them. In this manner, Devi Lalita stays here, assuming a sportive form. Even though she is nothing but concentrated consciousness and bliss. Hearing from Hayagriva the most purifying legend, the exhilarated Agastya got into a doubt and questioned thus, O compassionate Hayagriva, I am surprised that the city of the Devi is on top of Meru as described by you. There is no place in the universe which is not known to me. More so, on the Meru there is any place unknown to me. The Meru is like the wall on which the world picture is painted. There are 7 worlds above the 7 worlds below. There are 7 worlds above and 7 worlds below, and atop Meru there are abodes of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and there is not even 2 inches space on it which I do not know. Then how have you described the existence of Sripura there? Please clarify my doubt. Thus inquired by Agastya, the pleased Hayagriva said thus, O Agastya, listen to the profound secret which I will narrate. The Sripura will not be visible to one and all. Only those persons who propitiate Devi Tripurasundari in the ordained way will see that place and not others. By listening to her glory, you have developed devotion towards her, by which there would be nothing unattainable. Having possessed the ocean, the storehouse of diamonds, there would be no desire about a diamond. Your devoted wife Lopamudra is the highest devotee of the transcendental Tripura. Get initiated by her and strictly worship the Devi Tripura, by which you will be able to see her city and never otherwise. O Agastya, this is the glory of Devi Lalita which I have narrated to you. Hearing this glory, one will be absolved of all sins. In the Kali period, for people whose mind is polluted and wicked, there is no alternative except listening to the glories of Devi Tripurasundari. Disappointed persons, by practicing Vedic paths, will develop devotion towards Vishnu, Shiva, and other Shaktis, and in the end, as a result of maturity, turn to worship Devi Tripura always. They will realize that she, who is the unique consciousness and bliss ruling the entire universe, is their own self and experience the transcendental sovereignty and attain immortality. Thus, to realize the nature of one's own self, listening to the supreme glories of the great Devi is the first step. Hence, those who desire auspiciousness should begin to listen to this legend which destroys sins and confers all wants and generates devotion and quickly dispels great fear. Saying thus and well worshipped by Agastya, Lord Hayagriva, seeking permission, departed in the desired direction. O Parashurama, I have thus narrated to you the auspicious legend about Devi Lalita. End of the 78th chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. Chapter 79. Hearing the supreme glory of Devi Lalitambika, Parashurama, drenched in ecstasy and drowned in the ocean of devotion, bloated with horripilation and bathed in the continuous tears of joy, became unconscious for a while, as if inebriated, and again with folded hands spoke in a stammering voice. O Lord, today I am completely purified by you, by drenching me with the flood of sacred water in the form of the legend of Sri Parashakti. Really, I have been saved from the ocean of worldliness by your compassion. O Guru, O Son, unto the darkness of misery, O Savior, prostrations to you I salute that serene, fearless sage, Samvarta, who showed me the right path while I was blindly wandering. Till now I wasted my life without understanding the proper goal, just like a frog in a dried up well. By seeking shelter under your feet, I have been fortunate and really accomplished my longing for the wealth of immortality. O Lord, I am left with a great doubt about which I will request you to clarify. I am aware of your compassionate blessings on me. Merciful as you are, there will be nothing that should not be revealed to me, your disciple. How is that the erudite sage Agastya did not propitiate Sri Parashakti, the universal Devi, because of which the beautiful city of the Devi was not visible to him? How come that it is not visible to even persons practicing Veda? Later, how was sage Agastya able to see that city? Please tell me about this. Thus requested, Guru Dattatreya addressed Parashurama thus: O Parashurama, listen. I will tell you a great secret wherein mere erudition will not be of use. The individual beings carry with them the hundreds of impressions acquired by their actions in the previous births. By receiving instructions from virtuous persons, these impressions will surface and will remain as long as that association lasts, and there is no other means for this. Agastya, only after meeting Hayagriva and listening to the glories of Sri Tripurasundari and developing devotion to her, was initiated by his wife. Till one is initiated, even if he is a worshipper of Sri Tripura, he will not be competent to climb the steps of the mansion of liberation. O Parashurama, just as a Brahmin without initiation into Gayatri mantra will have no right to perform any Vedic rituals, even here without initiation one cannot progress. Without getting initiated by a guru and without knowing the procedures of the guru, even if a person properly performs worship by self-learning, he will perish just like a half-prepared medicine kills its consumer. The person who masters the mantra of a deity and its application without the help of a guru will be offending that deity, and he will have no salvation here and hereafter. Such an ignorant person has no chance of relieving himself of such an offense. The kings, without ignoring the disobedience of a person, punish him in several ways. Persons who advocate only Veda have no eligibility for the worship of Devi Tripura, just depending on the rituals of the Veda, because there is no scope for liberation in such rituals. If liberation is attainable in a special way to persons who falsely assume its attainment and have least knowledge about self, then why cannot such liberation be had by trees as well? The Vedic masters assume that the result obtained by smokes is permanent. But where is it seen that by adopting a fecal means a stable result was obtained? Without the concept of everlasting results, they seek satisfaction is limited results wrought with misery. The Vedas, characterized by the worldly tendencies, was promulgated by Brahma for the continuance of the world and for the satisfaction of the gods, just like the poison for a person wanting to die. Since the spiritual portion of the Veda was concealed by Brahma himself, deluded persons could not know about it. Vedavyasa, the incarnation of Narayana, out of compassion towards human beings, has brought out the implications of Veda in a different way so that it can be grasped easily only by persons who have relinquished worldly desires. Even sannyasins, renunciates, should propitiate Chit Shakti, absolute consciousness. If any one discontinues the worship of Sri Vidya either by ignorance or by insensibility, he will enter the non returnable world of dark nescience. A sannyasin should sacrifice all attachments. O Parashurama, but the practice of the Sri Vidya, which is characterized by liberation, should not be discarded by him as he does the Veda. Discontinuance of the practice of Sri Vidya amounts to severely dreaded offense, even to a renunciate. He will go to hells like Tamishra, Andhatamishra, Kumbhipaka, and Abhichika. Further, the offenders ordered by Dandanatha will be punished by the terrifying Shaktis like Sankarshini, Karshini, and Kala Sankarshini in one of the hells mentioned earlier. The person devoted to Sri Vidya will attain liberation. The salvation secured by a practicer of Tantra method cannot be had by him who practices Vedic methods, because the Vedic actions is always extrovert and depends on self effort without a proper place for Ishvara and suitable to experience sensory pleasures. In the Tantric method, the action directed towards the Godhead Ishvara is filled with enlightenment, belief, and devotion, which confer realization and liberation. By engaging oneself is the prescribed action of Sri Vidya, a person becomes pure and in the same birth equals Shiva. Even the ignorant, by practicing Sri Vidya through self effort, will attain freedom. Without proper initiation, one has no right to take to the path of enlightenment. The initiated person will reach the transcendental abode after death. Even the non enlightened acquire spiritual knowledge through Shiva and become Shiva themselves. O Parashurama, hence, by practicing the sapless Vedic methods, one cannot attain liberation. How can there be the desire for liberation without worshipping Devi Tripurasundari? O Parashurama, without her grace, one will neither have the means nor desire. It is certain that the results obtained by the worship of Shiva, Vishnu, and other gods are caused by the grace of the Devi. The worship of Parashakti is tantamount to worship of all other gods. Without worshipping Shakti, one cannot enjoy the boons from other gods. Therefore, Shakti has to be always worshipped by all. Intelligent persons will first consider the ability of a god in granting wants, and then worship that god and have their wants. O Parashurama, in the world also, a weakling is never adored. Without the support, who is Shiva, Shakti never exists. If so, without Shakti, who is his consciousness, Shiva does not exist, just like the sun has no locus standi without his brilliance. How can Shiva exist without Shakti, his consciousness? Bereft of the power of consciousness, even a blade of grass cannot exist. The truth is that consciousness is everything, and without it there is nothing. O Parashurama, know that whatever exists is consciousness. This is the science of Shakta philosophy, which propounds that there exists nothing other than one's own self. With such a state of mind, even a blade of grass is the embodiment of Devi Tripura. The learned in the world call it by many names, hence, abandon all doubt regarding this and take Shakti as omnipresent. The learned use different terminology to define Shakti, who is nothing but uninterrupted consciousness. Until one acquires this special knowledge, he cannot become her devotee. The Veda, which is full of distinctions, conceals the attributeless. Therefore, Agastya, an expert in the Veda, could not see her city. The sum and substance of Veda is Devi Tripura. Hence, Veda is said to be the means for attaining Devi Tripura. The sage Vyasa has elaborated the meaning of Veda through Puranas. Veda is made up of agamas, which are a heap of words that are embodiments of Devi Tripura, and thus all knowledge is propounded based on these words. The Veda is meant for the three class of people. For the emancipation of all, the compassionate Parameshvara has disclosed the agamas like Veda. The deliberation of Parameshvara is agama. Gradually, these agamas uttered by Brahma pervaded the universe like an ocean. In the course of time, keeping in view the ignorant, helpless lot, the rishis churned the ocean of the agamas by their abundant intelligence and brought out the tantras, the nectar-like essence of agamas that are classified according to different climes. Only those Brahmins who are refined by rituals are eligible for tantric worship. Shudras are directly eligible to practice tantra. Veda is tantra and tantra is Veda. There is not even an iota of difference between them. Thus the Veda contains tantra, and where the mantras and yantras are explicit, such portions are the most prominent in Veda. O Parashurama, the Tantra containing codified allusions is superior to all else. Even in Tantras, there are divisions like Vedic portion, Mantra, and Brahmana portions. Hence, methods of Tantra are the best. The Puranas contain portions of Tantra. Similarly, the Tantra, which contains features like creation and so on, is to be considered as the prominent portion of the Puranas. Therefore, understand that the Vedas and the Tantras have originated from the ocean of Agamas, which are the natural reflections of Devi Sri Tripurasundari. The universal process is controlled by her. Even though Agastya was a Vedic ritualist, he did not see the city of the Devi on the Meru for want of initiation. Later, by hearing the excellent glories of the great Devi, he became her devotee and got methodically initiated by his wife into her worship, and after worshipping her, secured a place along with Lopamudra in the circle of gurus and attained bliss. Thus Agastya saw and reached the sacred abode of Devi Tripurasundari. End of the 79th chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. Chapter 80. After listening to the narration by Dattatreya, Parashurama, with a pure mind, bowed and with folded palms, again said thus, O Lord, your narration was nectarian, and it has cleared all my doubts, but I would like to ask you further about something. After getting initiated and undertaking daily the worship of Devi Tripurasundari, by what special action either a king or a poor man will achieve great result very quickly? O Guru, please enlighten me on this with compassion, who is your servant. Thus inquired by Parashurama, Guru Dattatreya, pleased with his devotion, said thus, O Parashurama, listen to the great secret that pleases Devi Tripura. Like Shiva, who is pleased by bathing with water, like the sun by prostrations, like Ganesha by many offerings of eatables, and like Vishnu by decorations, the great Devi Parashakti is pleased by special methodic worship. Listen, I will tell you the best method of worshipping her. A Sri Chakra, or a beautiful idol of the Devi, should be installed on a well decorated high platform mansion according to one's capacity and worshipped as prescribed either by himself or through a priest. The worship is to be done daily 5 times, or 4 times, or 3 times, or twice, or once during early morning, afternoon, evening, and midnight respectively. On full moon and new moon days, the worship has to be done twice or thrice or 5 times in a day. On festival days, the idol has to be taken around the temple and streets in a chariot or a palanquin with dance and music in front of it. He who worships like this will enjoy all comforts in the sapphire fort of Sri Chakra. One who is unable to do this can install a Sri Chakra in a temple built by others. There is nothing more pleasing to Devi Tripura than installing a Sri Chakra. One who does this will have no rebirth, and gradually he will merge with the Devi. Just an installation of Sri Chakra gives innumerable benefits. By residing near an installed Sri Chakra and considering it as the supreme place, the devotee will secure a place in the golden fort of Sri Chakra. If he is unable to do so, he should, according to his capacity, devotedly worship an installed Sri Chakra or an idol of Devi. O Parashurama, worship of the installed Sri Chakra brings a lakh time more benefits than the uninstalled one. The devotee should place the idol of the Devi in the Sri Chakra and worship as stipulated. To obtain abundant benefits, one should worship all the deities located in the Sri Chakra. Just like the rays of the sun, which originate from the sun, benefit the entire world by destroying cold, darkness, and diseases of all creatures, the accompanying deities of Devi Tripurasundari in the Sri Chakra, who are the various aspects of her, are deputed to protect the world and therefore are to be worshipped as ordained. Just like the sun in the sky is the concentrated mass of the rays, Devi Tripurasundari embodies all her accompanying Shaktis. She is seated in the central point Bindu of Sri Chakra. He who cannot worship her in detail using special worshipping materials can worship her associate deities using easily available items within his limits. In some manner or other, the Devi has to be worshipped in an installed Sri Chakra. He who have got near an installed Sri Chakra fails to worship it is to be considered as self-destroyer and despicable. He who has limitations can worship with one or two or all items like sandal paste, flowers, pounded rice, water, money, betel leaves, lamps, prostrations, and circumambulation. A man or woman who worships but once the Sri Chakra, uttering her 1,000 names, will undoubtedly get rid of all sins as declared by Lord Shiva. O Parashurama, listen, I will now tell you the method of worship through 1,00,000 names. It should be started on special days or on a Friday. After determination, Ganesha has to be propitiated and benedictory mantras to be uttered by Brahmins. Then the Devi has to be worshipped along with her retinue according to the laid procedure. He should worship with 5 offerings like sandal paste, flowers, incense, lamp, and milk. At the stage of offering flowers, he should utter 1,000 names of the Devi and conclude with incense and so on. He should repeat this daily till 1,00,000 offering is completed. The same type of flower has to be used daily. The 1,000 names are to be repeated in even numbers like 2, 4 and so on in one day. He can worship either himself or along with his sons and grandsons or have it done through a Brahmin priest. In the end of a golden pot tied with sacred thread and garment has to be installed on rice poured on a Sarvatobhadra diagram having 9 triangles, offering incense and chanting the mantra of the Devi. The pot has to be filled with gems, water and 5 types of sprouts and a coconut to be placed on its mouth. In front of the pot, a beautiful idol of the Devi has to be placed and invoked and worshipped. To begin with, the deities of the Sarvatobhadra Mandala have to be worshipped. Then the lords of the 10 directions and the 4 Shaktis are to be worshipped. Dharma and other gods are to be worshipped in the middle in white colored houses. Adharma and other gods are to be worshipped in the red houses halfway. The worship is to be done in a clockwise direction. The pairs of gods, Asitanga and others, are to be worshipped in the tricolored circles bands. After worshipping the pot, Devi Tripura has to be worshipped, preceded by the worship of her seat. Gold and silver flowers should be offered in equal quantities, weighing 16 blackberry seeds each, or half of that, or 1/4 of that, or 1/9 of that. Vashini and other goddesses are to be worshipped first. Then during the midnight, Devi Tripura has to be worshipped to the west of the pot in the Sarvatobhadra Mandala. One can either worship himself or through a priest who knows the procedure. Then, as laid down, a young girl, a brahmachari, guru, married woman, and Brahmins have to be worshipped. After completing the puja without disturbing the pot, one should keep awake during the night, engaged in listening to her glories, songs, and dance. Next day morning, after ablutions, he should again worship the Sri Chakra to perform oblatory rituals. After generating, as stipulated, the fire in the altar, oblations with the same kind of flowers as was used to worship earlier have to be offered 1,000 times. After the worship, the pot along with the garment has to be gifted to a married woman along with money and the idol. Then 16 Brahmins, 8 Suvasinis, Vatukas, and young girls should be sumptuously fed without monetary miserliness on one's part. By worshipping thus, one will be absolved of all sins. The pleased Devi Tripura will grant all wants. After enjoying all comforts along with sons, he will emancipate his mens and finally attain liberation. Worship with lotus flowers grants kingdom. With Karavira, oleander flowers grants riches. With hibiscus grants progeny. With jasmine grants house, and so on. With Girikarnika, Achyaranthus flowers grants children. With Vakula flowers grants comradeship. With Kimsuka red flowers grants health, and with Kutaja grants destruction of enemies. Similarly, worship with varieties of fragrant flowers and leaves will grant immense benefits. One can worship Devi Tripurasundari using fruits and grains, or by a lamp with 1 lakh wicks. The competent one can light 10, 100, or 1,000 lamps, each having a ghee drenched wick, by uttering one name of the Devi. The 1,000 names of the Devi can be uttered once, or her 100 names 10 times. Similarly, 500 names can be repeated while offering the lamp. 18 wicks of gold and silver have to gifted to a Suvasini along with a copper lamp burning with a ghee wick. Then oblations with sweet pudding to be offered. O Parashurama, one should bathe the Sri Chakra by chanting the Sri Sukta 1 lakh or 1,000 or 100 times, either himself or through a Brahmin priest using milk or sugarcane juice or ghee or honey or fruit juice or curds or fragrant water from sacred tanks. In the end, oblations 1/10 of the number chanted with sweet pudding have to be offered for each of the Sri Sukta mantra. Bathing by chanting Sri Rudra mantras will also bring many great benefits. O Bhargava, I have thus told you the method of obtaining auspiciousness by the rich. The poor people can do so by physical service. If possible, they can visit sacred shrines and earn merit. If not, they can render desireless service in the temples. This is the only method for the ignorant. The intelligent one will benefit by repeating her names, reading her glories, discoursing on her glories, reading connected literature, and teaching them. He who teaches the methods of propitiating her to the deserving one will secure after death a permanent place in the coral fort of Sri Chakra. One who paints with devotion the pictures of Devi in mansions will live for ever in the Vasantha enclosure of Sri Chakra, enjoying inner bliss. One who cleans her temple with cold water and baths her idol with perfumed cold water will reside without afflictions in the moon's enclosure of Sri Chakra. One who illumines her temple during nights with lamps will dwell in the sun's enclosure of Sri Chakra, enjoying desired comforts. Thus, persons serving in her temple will secure after death places in the Sri Chakra according to the type of services rendered by them. By presenting gifts to devotees, one will secure a place in Sri Chakra. One who gives a book of the Devi to a deserving person will happily live among the Siddhas in Sri Chakra. One who gives articles of worship to a devotee will dwell among the lords of the directions in the Sri Chakra. Thus, whatever gifts are given by any one to the devotees of the Devi, they will undoubtedly attain commensurable place in the Sri Chakra. O Parashurama, I will now tell you about the best among gifts. Gifting of a Sri Chakra will bring immense benefits. On a full moon day, after worshipping the Sri Chakra with special materials, a austere Brahmin devoted to Devi Tripurasundari should be worshipped along with his wife, offering clothes, jewels, sandal paste, flowers, seed, and so on, and wash his hands with arghya water. Then he should retrieve the invoked Devi and feed as many Brahmins as there are goddesses in the Sri Chakra enclosures. 16 Suvasinis have to be fed by invoking one Nitya in each. According to one's capacity, Brahmins have to be fed, or 16 Suvasinis, or 16 or 12 Brahmins. In this way, if the Sri Chakra is gifted, the pleased Devi will confer the liberation of merger with her. A person who gifts a Sri Chakra accrues the benefits of having bathed in all sacred waters, having done all worships, having gifted all articles, having done all sacrifices, having done the best penance, and having studied all Vedas. Even Devi Tripura, considering his act as incomparable, grants him the liberation of merger in her. O Parashurama, because Sri Chakra is the embodiment of the universe, how will the gifting of it not include all gifts? If the Sri Chakra is gifted with a desire, one will have it fulfilled quickly, and gradually he will attain liberation. Similarly, when installed Sri Chakra along with a garland and great gifts is given to a Brahmin, the merit acquired by this cannot be spoken even by Adishesha. He who gifts with devotion an idol of the Devi, or a linga found in river Narmada, or a shaligrama, or an earring will reside in the Sripura for a long period and attain liberation. He who renovates an old damaged temple of Sri Chakra will accrue merit 100 times that of building a new temple. He who revives the worship of Sri Chakra, which was discontinued from a long period, will accrue merit 100 times that of gifting lands. O Parashurama, listen, I will further tell you a top secret. He who teaches to the deserving the Sri Vidya cult by suitably initiating without aspiring for money and fame will accrue such a merit which no one can describe. He will dwell in the Sri Chakra along with the Gurus as long as he wishes and ultimately attain liberation. He who, out of selfishness, delusion, inadvertence, or dejection, aversion, obstructs the person who wants to learn the Sri Vidya tradition, and he who avariciously teaches it to an undeserving person, both will have no place in the Sripura and both will be degraded. Even he who does not teach the tradition to a devotee out of covetousness of knowledge or foolishness will go to hell. O Parashurama, therefore, one should not prevent a person who wishes to teach the tradition either to his disciple or any other devoted student. There is no benefit equal to teaching Sri Vidya. Other gifts gather bondage. Only teaching Sri Vidya amounts to educating about self or consciousness. There is no limit for the benefits from such an act, hence, it is infinite. He who is not learned can gift books on Sri Vidya and earn the same merit. O Parashurama, out of love towards you, I have narrated the great secret of worshipping Devi Tripurasundari and the great benefits that follow. I have narrated in this Tripura Rahasya the grand glories of Devi Tripurasundari, which will induce devotion in that person who listens to it. O divine sage Narada, you have listened with concentration to the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasya. He who listens to this will be free from all sins. This is the ultimate means to attain liberation because it propounds that devotion brings about liberation, and such devotion will not dawn without listening to her glories. Therefore, this is the first step to reach atop the transcendental mansion. Listening to her glories is considered as the gateway to liberation. Without listening to her glories, how can one develop devotion? And without devotion, there will not be prosperity. Devotion to the Supreme Devi is the means without which all other qualities will be a waste, just like the beauty of a young girl without her nose. Without the soil a seed cannot sprout and grow. Similarly, without devotion, there can be no wisdom or benefit. For a non-devotee, there is no ritual, worship, and enlightenment. Hence, a non-devotee will not have bliss. O Narada, because listening to her glory is the origin of devotion, one should listen to this portion of Tripura Rahasya known as MahatmyaKhandam. It will wipe off the great sins of those who read and listen to it. Those who desire the blessings of Devi Tripura should read one chapter or at least one stanza every day. This will increase longevity and enhance auspiciousness. The poor will get rich and a barren woman will beget a son. Whatever one desires will be fulfilled by listening to this legend. If written and worshipped, it grants erudition and all wants. If contemplated, it grants wisdom, devotion, and detachment. This Tripura Rahasya is the ambrosia obtained by churning the ocean of Agamas, Vedas, and by drinking this nectar, Shiva and others have become immortal. And this nectar is the Mother Tripurasundari, the embodiment of the seed, later Mayabij. End of the 80th chapter of the MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. End of MahatmyaKhandam of Sri Tripura Rahasyam. O auspicious Devi, O Tripurasundari, by an iota of your compassion is rendered in English language. The most sacred and beautiful Tripura Rahasya. Pardon my courage by accepting this work placed at your feet and protect me. Your son Lakshmana. Shri Tripurambar Pitamastu. Om Tat Sat.